She stood in the doorway of our kitchen in Scottsdale, holding her phone a little too tightly, like it carried more weight than it should have. Her voice came out steady, but something underneath it trembled. "My ex needs me, Daniel." I didn't respond right away. I just watched her. Her name was Olivia Whitmore, my wife of 3 years. She shifted her weight slightly, avoiding eye contact. "I'm staying at his place tonight." There it was. No hesitation this time. I felt something tighten in my chest, but strangely, not explode. Not yet. Instead, I nodded slowly. "I understand." She blinked, like she expected resistance, or anger, or maybe a fight she had already prepared for. But I gave her none of that, and that confused her more than anything else could have. She picked up her handbag from the counter. "You're okay with it?" I met her eyes calmly. "Yeah." There was a pause. A strange silence filled the room, because sometimes the quietest answers are the loudest warnings. She left 10 minutes later. The front door closed with a soft click, and just like that, the house felt different. Not empty, just honest, because something had shifted. Let me ask you something. If your partner told you they were spending the night at their ex's house, would you trust them blindly, or would something inside you start asking questions you can't ignore? I walked into the living room and sat down slowly. Not because I was tired, because I needed to think clearly. Olivia and I had built something solid, or at least that's what I believed. We met in Greenwich at a mutual friend's engagement party. She was magnetic, confident, a little guarded, but warm once you got past that first layer. She told me early on that her last relationship had been intense. Her ex's name was Ryan Calloway. She never spoke badly about him, which at the time I thought showed maturity. But now, sitting alone in our home, that detail echoed differently. She never spoke badly about him. I stood up and walked back into the kitchen. Her coffee cup was still on the counter, half full, cold, just like the conversation we had left unfinished. I didn't call her. I didn't text her, because I wasn't trying to control her. I was trying to understand her. Hours passed. The sun dropped behind the desert horizon, and with every passing minute, something inside me became clearer. Not angrier, clearer. Around 9:40 p.m., my phone buzzed. A message from Olivia. "I'm here. He's not doing well. I'll explain later." I stared at the screen. 3 sentences. 0 details. I typed back slowly. "Take your time." And I meant it, but not in the way she thought. Because when someone chooses distance, sometimes the only thing you can do is give them all the space they're asking for, even if that space becomes permanent. I went upstairs and opened our bedroom closet. Her side was immaculate, organized, perfect, just like the version of her I thought I knew. But perfection can hide things. Small things. Important things. I noticed something missing. Yeah, overnight bake. That alone wasn't unusual. But what was unusual was what she had packed. I remembered clearly. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. She packed more than essentials. She packed like someone who wasn't sure when they'd be back. And that was the moment something inside me shifted again. Not doubt, not suspicion, clarity. Midnight came, then 1 a.m. No more messages, no calls, just silence. At 2:17 a.m., I got up, grabbed my keys, and walked out to my car. Not in anger, not in desperation, but because I needed to see something for myself. Ryan Calloway lived in a modern condo in downtown Scottsdale. I had been there once, early in our relationship. Briefly, she said it was closure. Now, I wasn't so sure. I parked across the street. Lights were on inside. That meant something, or maybe it meant nothing. I sat there for a moment, watching. Then I saw movement behind the glass. 2 silhouettes. Close. Too close. And just like that, the story I had been telling myself started to fall apart. But here's where things changed. Because instead of reacting, I paid attention. The body language wasn't what I expected. There was no affection, no intimacy. There was tension, sharp, uncomfortable. I got out of the car, walked toward the building. Every step felt deliberate, not rushed, not emotional, controlled. Because sometimes the truth doesn't reveal itself in chaos. It reveals itself in stillness. I reached the door, and just as I was about to buzz the unit, the door opened. Olivia stepped out. Alone. Her eyes widened when she saw me. Daniel. She looked shaken. Not guilty. Shaken. And that's when I realized I might have been wrong about the story I had built in my head. What are you doing here? She asked. I held her gaze. I came to see if you were okay. She exhaled sharply, like she had been holding something in for hours. Let's go, she said quickly. We walked back to the car in silence. The kind of silence that carries more truth than words ever could. Once inside, I finally asked, what's really going on? She stared straight ahead. Then she said something I wasn't expecting. Ryan lied to me. That caught me off guard. He said he needed help, she continued. But that wasn't it. I waited, because rushing truth often breaks it. He wanted me back, she said quietly. And when I said no, he didn't take it well. I felt my grip tighten on the steering wheel. Not out of jealousy, but out of realization. Why didn't you tell me that before you went? She swallowed. Because I wasn't sure how I'd handle it. There was honesty, late but real. I needed to see for myself that I was done with him. That sentence landed heavy, because it meant something important. She wasn't going there for him. She was going there for closure. But closure can be dangerous when you're already committed somewhere else. We drove home in silence. Not tense silence. Processing silence. When we got back, she didn't go to bed. She stayed in the living room. I crossed the line, she said. I didn't interrupt. Not physically, she added quickly, but emotionally, I shouldn't have gone without telling you the truth. That mattered, more than anything else, because betrayal doesn't always start with actions. It starts with omissions. Let me ask you something. Is honesty more important than loyalty? Or does true loyalty require complete honesty from the beginning? I sat across from her, and for the first time that night, I let my guard down. I trusted you, I said quietly. She nodded. I know, and I still do, I added. That surprised her. But trust isn't about pretending everything is fine, I continued. It's about choosing honesty even when it's uncomfortable. Tears filled her eyes. I chose wrong tonight, she said. I shook my head slowly. You made a mistake. There's a difference. Because mistakes can be corrected. Choices define who you become next. She leaned back, exhausted. I don't want anything to do with him anymore. I believed her, not because of her words, but because of her energy, her certainty, her clarity, the same clarity I had felt earlier that night. And that's when I understood something important. This wasn't about her ex. This was about boundaries, respect, and truth. We didn't solve everything that night. Real relationships don't work like that. But we faced something real, and we didn't run from it. Days later, things felt different. Stronger, but more honest. Because sometimes it takes a moment that almost breaks something to show you whether it was real to begin with. And in our case, it didn't break. It revealed. What's your personal reflection? Would you have trusted her after that night? Or would that moment change everything for you forever?